My name's Ben Weaver with the Music Connection Lesson Studio in Sycamore, Illinois. Today we're going to be focusing on audition strategy, specifically for trumpet players. Today we're joined by brass instructor here at the Music Connection, Mr. Nick Andersen. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. So stick around, folks. We've got a lot of things to talk about, and he's going to be demonstrating the junior high audition music for the Illinois schools. So stick around. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. So what did you think about that performance clip you just saw performed by brass instructor Mr. Nick Andersen? He was performing the junior high audition material for this district right around Sycamore, Illinois. And today we're going to dive into that specific audition material. So for those that are watching that may be on the fence about should you audition, how do I audition, how do I prepare, make sure you stay tuned to this video, rewind it, invite your friends to also tune in who may be trumpet players because Nick's going to dive in deep with specific strategies to help you feel confident, to be successful at your audition, to not wait to the last second. That's very important. And to really, go to that next level to where you should be able to master any sort of audition. So let's go and get started. But before we do, my name is Ben Weaver. If you'd like to set up a sample lesson with Nick, feel free to reach out to us here at the Music Connection, 815-217-5648. You can also head over to our website, www.themusicconnection.com. All right, let's go and get started. Nick, can you walk us through what were you playing in that performance clip? And maybe just walk our audience through what are some things that they need to be on the lookout for as they prepare.
Yeah, so what I played was the Junior High District 8, specifically the Sycamore District audition material. This was a A2 that they were given. And one of the first things that I think of whenever I have an audition or anything is I look at the piece and I kind of try and identify what they're looking for in the piece. Like, what is one of the striking qualities of the piece that I'm like, oh, that's what they're going to be listening for. And when looking at this junior high excerpt, one of the first things I noticed is the dynamic changes are very drastic. It starts out at forte, and then it goes down to piano, and it keeps going back and forth between forte and piano. So trying to make those as drastic as possible is one of my goals in that performance, and I think that's something that the judges and the people listening are going to be really keen on, and that's what will make you stand out, for sure. Another important thing that I think is important for all auditions, especially in any sort of ensemble, is your rhythmic integrity. How well can you stay in time? So when approaching this material, how I would first start looking at it is by using a metronome often. Metronome keeps the time for you, so it should make it easier for you, and eventually you can use that, and once you take it away, hopefully you play in time perfectly, because if they can sense that you're playing in perfect time, that's going to be a very redeeming quality, especially for any ensemble audition. In my opinion, rhythmic quality is more important than even getting 100% of the notes, because as a musician, when the nerves are high in an audition, you're going to miss a few notes. That's okay, just keep chugging along, but as long as your rhythm is sound and secure, that's going to be a very attractive quality for all of these auditions. In terms of prepping this material, I would start as early as you can. Try not to wait till the last minute, like you said. Start earlier rather than later. The later you start, the more stressed you will be, and you won't know the material as well, which makes you prone to more mistakes, and you might not show off the great musician that you are. So starting as early as you can, and this can apply for your scales as well, because I know there are scales on these auditions as well. For the scales, I would recommend doing just a couple of scales every day, maybe 3 to 5 minutes of scales, just to keep them fresh in your mind and not do too many at one time. And then again, start with this with a metronome. Start slow, and don't play this faster than you can. It's not about the tempo, it's more about the playing in time and the rhythmic integrity.
That's great. Thank you so much. Again, he really gave a lot of good examples of how to prepare effectively, how to have a strategy, which for those that are watching, that's so important. Learning how to audition, whether it be through a high school, for a high school level activity like these auditions here, or maybe for college, getting into a school of music, or even professional orchestra, or these things similar. That can really help broaden your perspective about the world and help you become just a better person, really, stepping up to that challenge. So we encourage anyone that's watching that's a musician to strive to do an audition here or there, even if it's for a community type group or a school group. You'll definitely, learn in the process, and that will prepare you for the next time. So just keep that in mind if you're watching. Again, my name's Ben Weaver with the Music Connection. We're joined today by Mr. Nick Andersen. Now, Nick, you mentioned scales. On the screen here, we have some other a video that's on our YouTube channel of a previous video that we recorded.
Yes.
Would this in any way support the preparation for an audition, maybe?
I think it definitely would.
Okay.
Yeah. It'd be a very good video just to see kind of how to approach your scales.
Okay. Well, for those that are watching, this is on our YouTube channel, so let's go ahead and just watch a preview of this video here, and then just feel free to respond to it afterwards.
Yeah.
So that was more of a chromatic scale exercise. So for those that are watching, that's every single note. It's not really like a major scale that you may be familiar with. But the chromatic scale, what does that really serve in your preparation?
Well, the chromatic scale, it's a great, you see it all the time in music. Again, you'll see many of the runs we see as musicians are either major scales, minor scales, or chromatic often as well. And practicing your chromatic scale is extremely helpful because then when you see it in music, it's just, hopefully, if you practice enough, it's just automatic and you don't have to think about it anymore. You can keep looking ahead in the music and focus on other harder parts. Mm-hmm. And also, I think the chromatic scale is a great way of kind of warming up the fingers. Mm-hmm. I do them often, almost every day, just to help warm up the fingers. Because again, playing the trumpet is a physical thing. Playing any instrument is a physical thing. And sometimes just getting those fingers warm and loosened up and just keeping them fresh in your mind. So I think practicing chromatic scales is extremely important for just all aspects of the trumpet, but it'll really help with your scales as well.
That's great. Thank you. For those that are watching, feel free to head over to our YouTube channel. You can definitely watch the rest of this video. Nick demonstrates some other things, specifically about stretching and, really expanding the lungs through certain exercises where you take in a lot of air, you sip a little bit more, and then you hold it, and then you move a certain way to really make sure the lungs are really as filled as much as possible to really help you be more efficient on your instrument, whatever it may be. Also in that video, he does some other excerpts from the Pines of Rome and some other things like that, orchestral work. So feel free to head over to our YouTube channel and watch the rest of this video that you see behind me on the monitor here to learn more about Nick and to hear his wonderful playing. So Nick, if you can, before we go, what are maybe 3 things that every student that's considering next year, auditioning next year, what is kind of maybe a top three things that they should be thinking of, this time of year moving forward?
So yeah, when you're at this point in the year looking forward to the next audition, I would just really focus on the first thing is focusing on your fundamentals, especially your scales, since that is a part of all of these auditions, and also scales will just help all of your playing in both school, no matter what level you're at. I still practice my scales, so it's not just your band directors harping on you to do your scales. I do them as well. So really focusing on, again, your scales and your fundamentals, and then just finding other things that you enjoy playing. Maybe, again, like Mr. Weaver said, taking other community band auditions, any auditions, and kind of just putting yourself out there. The more auditions you take, the more comfortable you'll get with the process. And then the third thing, again, just I mentioned it earlier, but using a metronome. A lot of younger musicians, myself included, struggle with rhythmic integrity and tempo consistency, and practicing with a metronome often will just help that quite a bit and really just make that something that's just a natural part of your playing.
That's great. Thank you. So, folks, thanks so much for tuning in today. We just wanted to do this short video since the auditions are over here in the Northern Illinois region, District 8 specifically. And I was speaking with Nick, and he and I were just talking about maybe doing a short video. So that's why we're here today, to really help those that maybe didn't get those results that they were hoping for after they auditioned, and maybe want to do better next year. So please make sure you just watch this video again, listen to his suggestions, things like that. And also want to add in another good strategy is to make sure you have a good teacher available, to take lessons, before the next round of auditions. And Nick Andersen is available here in Sycamore, Illinois. We're located at 515 Dekalb Avenue in Sycamore, near downtown. And our website is www.themusicconnection.com. If you'd like to read Nick's bio and to send us a message or sign up for a free sample lesson, just let us know. He also teaches other instruments in the brass family, trombone, baritone, things like that. So if any other students out there that play those instruments, he is available for all brass lessons. So, well, Nick, thanks so much for stopping by today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's great having you here. And folks, just like I said, reach out if you have any questions. We're here to help you prepare for those next round of auditions and help you, reach your goals and be the best musician that you can be. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you again.